The G1 Climax is a yearly professional wrestling round-robin tournament hosted by New Japan Pro Wrestling. If you don't know what a round-robin tournament is, well, it's a tournament where everyone in the same block of the tournament faces everyone else in that block. Normally, the person with the most points in the end wins the block. In the G1, a win gives the wrestler 2 points, a draw 1 point, and a loss 0. For this year's tournament, there will be 2 different blocks, A and B, each consisting of 10 wrestlers. The 3 wrestlers from each block who end up with the most points in the end will advance to a smaller mini-tournament. The participant with the most points from each block will get a bye. Meanwhile, the wrestlers in second and third will face one another. For example, the participants who get second and third in A will face one another, and the winner of that faces the participant in A who got first. Then the same thing happens with the participants from Block B, with the winner of both exchanges facing one another in the finals. The winner of this then wins the whole tournament and will face the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion at New Japan's biggest show of the year, Wrestle Kingdom. As I said earlier, this year's G1 is split into 2 blocks with a variety of competitors. Each block has wrestlers that range in their experiences, their accomplishments, and some even come from different promotions. Let's get right into it and preview the participants from Block A. To kick it off, we have Shota Umino. This is Umino's second G1 Climax appearance, with his first appearance being last year. He debuted in wrestling back in 2017 for New Japan's developmental brand and has been with New Japan ever since. He has been trained by the likes of Japanese legends like Jushin Thunder Liger, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Hiroshi Tenzan, and current AEW superstar Jon Moxley. At Dominion 2019, Umino challenged Moxley for the IWGP United States title in a losing effort. However, this is when Moxley took Umino under his wing in a mentor/tag team relationship. Throughout his career thus far, he has yet to win any championships. However, he's challenged for the IWGP United States title and the IWGP Heavyweight title. He was also nationally recognized by ESPN as one of the 30 best wrestlers under 30. Some of his top-rated matches include his match against Will Ospreay at New Japan Pro Wrestling Power Struggle, and when he partnered with Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli in a 6-man tag match going against Tanahashi, Okada, and Ishii for the never openweight 6-man tag titles. He has constantly been regarded as a future star for New Japan, and it'll be interesting to see how he does in the G1. Next up, we might have the most decorated man in the whole tournament, Tetsuya Naito. This will be Naito's 15th straight G1, which is the second most out of the competitors this year. He has also won the tournament on 3 separate occasions, including in 2013, 2017, and last year in 2023. Naito has been wrestling since the year 2000 and was offered a contract from New Japan in 2005. Early on in his career, he formed a team with Yujiro Takahashi called No Limit. They won the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag titles as well as the IWGP Heavyweight Tag titles. In 2011, the team disbanded after a failed tag team title shot against the team Bad Intentions. Throughout the next few years, Naito continued his success by winning the Never Openweight Championship in 2013. In 2015, Naito was working in the promotion CMLL through a relationship that New Japan fostered with the company. After forming relationships in CMLL, he formed the stable Los Invulnerables de Japan with other wrestlers Bushi and Evil. The faction has had loads of success over the years, and Naito has been leading the faction since the get-go. Other stars have also joined the faction, including Yota Tsuji, Shingo Takagi, and more. Over the next few years, Naito continued to win gold, as he won both the IWGP Intercontinental title and the IWGP Heavyweight Championship at Wrestle Kingdom 14 against Jay White and Kazuchika Okada respectively. This was one of the biggest moments in Naito's career, but has continued to create more moments along the way. Most recently, he won last year's G1 Climax and then proceeded to beat Sonata for the IWGP Heavyweight title. Naito would then lose the title to Moxley after 99 days, but then he regained the title from him at Forbidden Door. Some of his other accomplishments include winning the IWGP World Heavyweight title twice, the IWGP Heavyweight title 3 times, and the IWGP Intercontinental title 6 times. As he is the current IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, it'll be interesting to see how he does in the tournament and what possible future storylines could come out of it. To start off with Shingo Takagi, he is the current Never Openweight Champion, and this is his 6th straight G1. Takagi made his wrestling debut in 2004 in the Dragon Gate promotion as the first Dragon Gate Dojo graduate. Takagi would then wrestle in Dragon Gate for more than a decade and be one of the top stars in the promotion, winning the Open the Dream Gate Championship on 4 separate occasions, along with other titles in the promotion. Early on in his career, he also had a quick stint in Ring of Honor, where he won the ROH tag titles with Naruki Doi defeating the Briscoe brothers. After Takagi's time in Dragon Gate, he debuted for New Japan in 2018 at the King of Pro Wrestling event. At this event, he joined the Los Ingobernables de Japan faction, and just a few months later at Wrestle Kingdom, he won the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Titles with Bushi. The following year, Takagi had one of his best rated matches in the finals of the 2019 Best of the Super Juniors tournament against Will Ospreay. This was Takagi's first ever pinfall loss in New Japan. Although this was a small bump in the road, Takagi's success continued as he won the Never Openweight 6-man tag titles with his LIJ faction members. He has also won the Never Openweight title on 4 separate occasions, including just a few months ago in April. One of the biggest moments in Takagi's career came when he defeated Kazuchika Okada for the vacant IWGP World Heavyweight title in March 2021. As the current Never Openweight champion and someone who can always put on a good match, it'll be fun to see how he does in the G1. Next, there's Sanada, who is making his 9th consecutive G1 appearance. Sanada is another wrestler in this tournament with a long list of accomplishments. Sanada was actually turned down by the New Japan Dojo in 2005, but eventually found his way to the All Japan Pro Wrestling Dojo in 2007. Throughout his time in All Japan, he won the All Asia Tag titles twice with Manabu Soya and the All Japan Tag titles once with Joe Doering. Following his time in All Japan, he went to Wrestle One, where he had a very brief stint before he defeated Austin Aries for the TNA X Division title, causing him to sign with TNA. Sanada made his TNA debut, teaming with the Great Muta and Yasu against Bad Influence and Chris Sabin. Down the line, Sanada would eventually turn on Muta, where he would join a faction led by James Storm. This group, called the Revolution, changed Sanada's look completely, and he would go on to win his second X Division title. Eventually, Sanada would leave TNA, but not before main eventing TNA's Bound for Glory event in the Tokyo Dome. Sanada would make his New Japan debut in 2016, where he joined LIJ and helped Naito win the IWGP Heavyweight title. Teaming with LIJ, Sanada won the Never Openweight 6-man tag titles 3 times and the IWGP tag titles 3 times as well. In 2023, Sanada entered the New Japan Cup, where he defeated Naito in the quarterfinals. After the match was over, Sanada declared that he was leaving LIJ and joining the Just 5 Guys stable. He went on to win the tournament and earn an IWGP World Heavyweight title shot against Okada at Sakura Genesis, where he did win the title. Unfortunately for Sanada, he ended up losing the title to Naito, which was mentioned earlier in this video. Since then, Sanada hasn't really had that many opportunities and is looking to make a statement in this year's G1. Next up, we have Great-O-Khan, who will be wrestling in his 4th consecutive G1. O-Khan started as an amateur wrestler while in school and wrestled in the 120 kg freestyle. He started training with New Japan in 2015 and made his debut in 2016. In his television debut, he lost to his trainer, Yuji Nagata. In 2018, he went on an excursion to the promotion Rev Pro, where he won the Rev Pro tag titles with Rampage Brown. Then, in 2020, O-Khan returned to New Japan, helping Will Ospreay defeat Okada in the G1, which marked the creation of a faction known as the Empire, which was shortly renamed to the United Empire. O-Khan and faction member Jeff Cobb would go on to win the IWGP tag titles twice in 2 months. To start off 2024, O-Khan went on to compete for the first ever New Japan King of Pro Wrestling Championship. He ended up losing the match to Taiji Ishimori, but challenged him to a rematch and won the title a few weeks later. O-Khan did end up losing the title to Yua Uemura, but won it back just a month ago in June. Some of his highest rated matches include his match against Jay White in the 2022 G1 Climax and his match at Forbidden Door, where he teamed with Cobb against FTR and Roppongi Vice. He's the 3rd current champion being mentioned in this video so far, so it'll be fun to see how this all plays out. Zack Sabre Jr. The man participating in his 8th consecutive G1 Climax has won loads of titles in loads of different promotions, and it's just way too many to list. Sabre started his wrestling career in 2004 for the promotion NWA UK Hammerlock. From there, he went to IWP UK, where he won the tag team titles twice with Marty Scurll. Throughout his career, he went on to make loads of appearances for WXW, Pro Wrestling Noah, Progress Wrestling, and PWG. He won titles in all of these promotions, including the PWG World title. In 2016, Sabre made a brief appearance in the WWE Cruiserweight Classic, where he made the semifinals after beating former WWE superstars Tyson Dukes and Drew Gulak, as well as beating current WWE superstar Noam Dar. Unfortunately, he lost to Grand Metalik. It was revealed that Sabre turned down a WWE contract in order to sign with New Japan, where he debuted in 2017. He immediately won the RPW British Heavyweight title after assistance from Minoru Suzuki and Davey Boy Smith, which led him to joining the faction Suzuki Gun. Throughout the next few years, Sabre would challenge for multiple belts in New Japan, but would always come up short. That was until 2020, where he and faction member Taichi won the IWGP tag titles from the Golden Aces. They ended up winning the titles 2 more times, and they were known as Dangerous Tekkers. In 2023, after Suzuki Gun and Dangerous Tekkers had disbanded, Sabre won the inaugural New Japan Pro Wrestling World Television Title Tournament. After the match was over, Mikey Nichols and Shane Haste offered him a TMDK shirt, and Sabre accepted. Sabre has gone on to also participate in matches in both Ring of Honor and AEW, most recently where he took on Orange Cassidy at Forbidden Door. After losing in the quarterfinals of the G1 last year, the 2-time IWGP World TV Champion and leader of TMDK is looking to take it all this time. Next, we have Gabe Kidd, who really made his mark on the wrestling scene last year. He'll be participating in his 2nd straight G1 Climax and will be entering as the New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Openweight Champion. Kidd began his wrestling career in 2011, and he would wrestle for different wrestling promotions in the UK early on. In 2017, he took his talents to WCPW, where he won their Internet Championship. In 2019, at a Rev Pro event, Kidd teamed with Kenneth Halfpenny and Sean Jackson, where they defeated Brandon White, Clark Connors, and Carl Fredericks. Shibata was so impressed by Kidd's performance that he recommended him to New Japan officials. Kidd ended up signing with New Japan in 2020, and along the way he teamed up with Alex Coughlin. In 2023 at Dominion, Kidd and Coughlin attacked the new IWGP Tag Champions, Bishamon. That same night, they accompanied Bullet Club leader David Finlay to the ring, signifying them joining the Bullet Club stable. Now known as Bullet Club War Dogs, Kidd and Coughlin beat Bishamon for the Strong Openweight titles. In the G1 that year, Kidd would go on to make a statement by attacking fellow participants at the press conference. Eventually, Coughlin and Kidd would drop the titles, and unfortunately, Alex Coughlin would have to retire from wrestling. Kidd then pursued singled action, where he would go on to win the Strong Openweight title against Eddie Kingston in a no ropes last man standing match. Kidd is another guy on the roster who is clearly seen as a star, and so it'll be interesting to see how he does in the G1. Jake Lee, a man making his G1 Climax debut and representing Pro Wrestling Noah in the process. Lee made his debut in wrestling for All Japan Pro, and just 2 months after his debut, he actually had to retire due to an injury. Then in 2015, Lee returned to wrestling and All Japan, where he teamed with Kento Miyahara, where they started a faction called Nextstream. Eventually, Noya Nomura would join the faction, and they would win the All Japan Pro Wrestling tag titles in 2017. Sadly, Lee ended up getting injured again, and they had to vacate the titles. In 2018, Lee returned to the ring and started his own stable in the process. This faction was called Sweeper and featured wrestlers Iwamoto, Kaichi Sato, Dylan James, Ryoji Sai. With Iwamoto, Lee won the All Asia tag titles on 2 separate occasions. After only a year, the stable ended up falling apart, but a new one was also created. Lee, Iwamoto, and Nomura started a group known as Jin. After 2 years, this group would also disband, with Lee turning on Iwamoto and joining the group Enfants Terribles, which was then changed to Total Eclipse. At the end of 2022, the group would disband as Lee's contract would expire. Lee ended up signing with Pro Wrestling Noah and made his debut at the beginning of 2023. There, he started a group alongside Jack Morris and former WWE star Anthony Green called Good Looking Guys. After just 2 months in the promotion, Lee won the GHC heavyweight title from Kaito Kiyomiya. Lee and Kiyomiya have had somewhat of an ongoing rivalry ever since. Just a month ago, Lee announced that Good Looking Guys would split up on July 13th. And just recently, Lee made his New Japan debut by helping Drilla Maloney beat Naito, and Finlay announced he would be with Bullet Club against LIJ. Although they did end up losing, Lee is now in the same block as Naito, and it should be great to see how a talent from another promotion does in the G1. Then there's Evil, who's entering his 9th consecutive G1 Climax. And well, Evil could have been mentioned a couple times within the background of other wrestlers, but I want to save it all for here. Evil made his wrestling debut in 2011 for New Japan and wrestled there until 2013. After which, he wrestled a year in Ring of Honor, where he had a television title shot against Jay Lethal, which he lost. Evil then returned to New Japan in late 2015, where he was revealed as Naito's associate, being dubbed as King of Darkness. He also joined Naito's stable, LIJ. In November 2016, Evil won his first title as he won the Never Openweight Championship from Shibata. However, Evil did lose the title back to him 10 days later. Over the next few years, Evil won the Never Openweight 6-man titles 4 times with LIJ members and the IWGP Tag titles twice with Sonata. In 2020, everything changed for Evil. Evil won the 2020 New Japan Cup after beating Okada in the finals due to Bullet Club interference. After the match, Naito came out to congratulate his stablemate. However, that's when Evil threw up the too sweet and turned his back on LIJ. Evil ended up winning the IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental titles from Naito with the help of Bullet Club and his new manager, Dick Togo. Evil even led Bullet Club for a small stint during Jay White's absence. He then started to lead his own Bullet Club subgroup titled House of Torture. With Sho and Yujiro Takahashi, House of Torture would win the Never Openweight 6-man titles twice. Evil also went on to win the Never Openweight title 2 more times, most recently winning it from Tama Tonga. He did end up losing it to Shingo Takagi, so it should be interesting to see what happens as they renew their battles here. The final man in the A block is Callum Newman. Newman is the youngest participant in the G1 this year, and this is his first G1. He actually had to qualify by winning a very small tournament, beating the likes of Yujiro Takahashi, Kenta, and Yoshihashi. At a Rev Pro event, Newman went up against Will Ospreay, and Ospreay was so impressed with Newman that he recruited him into the United Empire. He made his New Japan debut where he teamed with other United Empire members Jeff Cobb, Hinare, and Great Okan in a losing effort to LIJ. Ospreay ended up being a mentor to Newman before Ospreay went over to AEW. When it comes to rivalries, the only thing I could remember/find was a brief one that he lost against Tomohiro Ishii. Newman has constantly been praised for his work in New Japan so far, and all I have to say is, don't expect Newman to win it all, but his matches should be fun to watch. Thank you to everyone who did watch this video. I don't know why it cut out the word watch at the end there. I was trying to figure it out, and for whatever reason, no matter how many times I did it, it always cut out that last part of the word watch. Anyway, if you did enjoy, please like, share, subscribe, do all of that, and please let me know what I can do better and how I can improve the channel. Thank you all for watching this video, and I'll see you all next time. Also, I almost forgot this was only part 1, and I will soon be uploading part 2. Thank you, and goodbye.